let's go to the first item on the agenda. We have the North Hollywood Police Senior Lead Officer, Cesar Gonzalez. Oh. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Is it quick 1 minute or go straight to what do you guys?
You can give us some opening statements and we'll show
Sure.
questions.
So my name is Cesar Gonzalez. Been a police officer 22 years. 21 years here in North Hollywood Division. I was recently assigned to Studio City. Sean Smith has retired. 30 years of patrol under his belt is more than enough. So thank him for his dedication to service. I am the temporary part-time SLO. So I'll be filling in for now. I currently patrol North Hollywood as well as my senior lead position. And I'm now assigned to Studio City. So I'm doing both places at once. My information's in the back on the table. If you guys want my information, email, phone number, it's on a flyer on the back table. So as you leave, please grab one. The hot topic for us recently is the burglaries that are being occurring in the San Fernando Valley. I'd like to report that compared to last year, we're down 45% in burglaries in the San Fernando Valley. So that's a huge decrease in what we had last year. We still have them occurring today. We had 2 last night that occurred in Toluca Lake. Our detectives are working hard to identify who these people are. It's usually a crew of either South End gangs or the South American crews. There's another flyer on the back table where it describes what it is that they do and how they do it. So please be alert, take those flyers home and safeguard your homes. Add lights, add cameras. That helps us with investigations. It doesn't prevent burglaries occurring, but it does help us with investigation, try to find out who it is. If you have it saved, do not put it in your primary bedroom in the closet. Guess why? Yes, that's the first place they look, but don't do that. Place it somewhere else. Hide it in the garage. Hide it in the kids' room. Put it somewhere else. Don't put it there. That's the first place they look. If you do have it safe, have it bolted to the floor, bolted to the ground. Because if you don't, your contents will still be safe in somebody else's hands. Please bolt them to the ground. That's all I have for the board.
Okay, let's open it up for public comment. Barry?
So you said the burglaries are down this year. I'm wondering if they're up along the Ventura corridor, because we seem to be hearing a lot about a lot of them, both south, north and south of Ventura.
They are occurring throughout the valley in general. It's not within a mile of Ventura. It's actually further than that. It's the entire valley, even Sherman Oaks, even further close to the 101. So it's not just along Ventura Boulevard. It's the entire valley.
Okay. Question?
Yeah, why don't we have enough police in the valley?
That's a question that I can't answer. I wish we had more as well, trust me.
Oh, grab a hand, way in the back.
I apologize for shouting earlier. I just wanted to express my appreciation for Officer Smith, who has been here for decades and always did a great job. So just want to
Any other public safety? Yes.
So, yes, are they breaking windows even, or how are they getting?
Yes,
Okay.
they are breaking windows of sliders in your backyard, side windows, they jump the fence. The one that seems to deter them the most, dogs. They don't want to get bit.
And yes,
I recognize that you're not, that we're not getting enough police and that you don't know the answer why. And not meant to be disrespectful to you. What is it that we can do that could increase the amount of police? Or what is it that you think that we need to deter or end such burglaries?
When the bathroom take on my Facebook.
So it's a multiple answer on that one. So the reason why we don't have more officers, it's pretty simple. We need more money. You know, we're expensive. We put our life on the line every day to put this uniform on. And so it gets pretty expensive having to hire officers. You know, you're talking about thousands, it adds up quick. That's what it comes down to as far as that, as far as I can tell. I don't know what's going on downtown. I don't work there. I can't answer for them. That's beyond my scope. As far as why they're here, why you're getting burglaries in the valley, it's pretty simple. They're getting lots of stuff. The top things are stealing, jewelry.
Sorry to interrupt. It seems the meeting got muted.
Goes. And thank God we haven't had anything since then, but it's costly. But at least we have 11 or 12 neighbors that all contribute to it and makes it worthwhile. So that's something everybody can do. There's a lot of security out there.
Thanks, Bruce. Okay, we have, one of our stakeholders online, Esther Neal. You have a question? Can you unmute your device?
I apologize. No question, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right, have a hand right there.
We need to vote for more pro-police in our government.
Here, here.
That will fix it.
How do you pay for it?
He said we should vote for.
Get rid of
More
the money we're spending
in our government.
unnecessarily.
One more question from a stakeholder right there. Yes, hand up.
Hi, Catherine, I'd like to know, if we have, those license plate readers and if that would help us. Also, do we still have that community-based policing patrol where community members go out in the little BMWs and report things?
To answer your question, I'll answer the second one first. Yes, we still have community patrols, but we don't have that many of them. That's all volunteer based. Those are people who volunteer their time and they drive around in a little white and black BMW. They turn little amber lights on. We call them wave wags, and they drive around your neighborhood. They have our police radios. So if they see something, they're gonna call it in and a patrol unit will show up and take over. They're not there to engage anybody. So they are still around, we just don't have enough. So if anybody in this room wants to talk to me afterwards, my information's in the back. We'll get you guys in the right contact. You guys can help us out. And you can drive your neighborhoods with little white and black BMWs. The other part of your question, as far as the license plate reader cameras, they do work. Flock is one of the companies that uses them. On their website, they claim that, I believe 15% of police crimes are, they are solved with their cameras. It works. Beverly Hills has a bunch of them because they're expensive. They're not cheap. They are very expensive, but they work. We have access to those cameras 24/7. So if something were to happen, we can access those cameras and we can see license plates and vehicles, but we have to have a crime report to go with it. I just can't log into the system and start looking at everybody's cars and license plates. I have to have a reason why I'm looking for that particular car or a particular license plate. So they do work, but they are expensive to install.
I have a question for one of the board members.
I know that, these gangs were in the news recently, but honestly, we've seen these crews in our neighborhoods for over a year now. And they have a very, we spot them often, they drive around without license plates. Or they have a short wrapped around their license plate. They have, darkly shaded, windows, which I don't think they're supposed to. And so sometimes we have neighbors come and chase them off, on the WhatsApp group, they'll announce if there's somebody suspicious and they've chased them off. So it's not as if this hasn't happened. They come in, usually it was happening in the middle of the day when people are at work or they're picking up their kids. And then they're in and out in less than 10 minutes. So it's very frustrating and really scary because it feels like there's nothing you can do. There's no way anyone can get there in time. So why are these suspicious cars that the neighbors can pick out, just, seeing them driving around the street, why are they not being picked up before this happened?
By law enforcement?
Yes.
Staff. So Studio City area is 8.5 square miles. If two patrol cars are patrolling 8.5 square miles, there's no way they can cover that much ground with 2 cars. I've tried it, it's nearly impossible. Our response time is long because if I have to travel from, say, Colfax and the 101 freeway, and I gotta go up to Berry Drive, how long will that take me? It takes a long time. And both sides are getting 459s, the burglaries. So for me to get from one spot to another, it unfortunately takes time to get from one spot to the other. I would love to have officers every square mile. That'd be great. The reality is not gonna happen.
When we see these cars, is there anything we can do?
The same thing you're doing now, take photos, license, I know the license plates are covered, take photos of the cars, send them to our way, and I'll forward them to the detective, that way they know who's in the area.
Any other, Jeff?
Yeah, Prop, I think it's 36 was passed in 2024, which increased penalties for thefts, and it's kind of tiresome going to the drugstore, grocery store, and half the store is locked up nowadays. How has that proposition helped you, or has it helped you in dealing with repeat offenders that are stealing from our stores?
So after that law was passed, under the direction of the district attorney, the city attorney is filing all those petty thefts because as the Prop 36 states, on the third arrest for petty theft is now a felony. And that has worked. When an officer responds to calls of 44 suspects in custody, whether it's at the liquor store, at the department store, they are filing those cases. So the DA is filing those cases for 666, which is petty theft with the prior, and they're actually looking at felony charges out of the third strike. And that's the same thing for drug possession, because drug possession is a misdemeanor. On the third time, it's a strike, which basically means it's a felony charge at that point. And that does help us to make sure that people are in jail and they stay there for a little bit.
It's good news. Thank you.
I have a question. So if some of the citizens sees a car, like a black Mercedes, or like the cars we see in Studio City, sees a car with the license plate covered, and we send that information, you send it to a detective, then what happens?
So we keep that in our log as what cars in the area. It'd be beneficial that you also call the non-emergency line and say, hey, there's somebody here in this vehicle. So if patrol units in the area, or like more now recently, you're gonna see more patrols in the area. Some of these patrols, you're not gonna know they're officers because they're gonna be undercover cars. And that's a plus for us because the bad guys are not gonna know these are officers driving around your neighborhood. So call it in, that way when they hear the call come out, there's a black Tesla with a shirt wrapped around the back license plate, and you give an idea of what street they're on, they can go there and see if they can find that car. Not only that, the helicopter's above as well, so they can see a lot more than we can.
And so then what, so they find the car and the drivers, and then they stop the drivers, then what?
We identify who they are. Covering your license plate is a vehicle violation.
So vehicle code by.
At that point, yes, but at least we can find out who's in the car. And if we see something at that stop, then the investigation proceeds from there.
Yeah,
But it gives us a reason why to stop their car because they cover the license plate.
hopefully there's something in plain view.
Correct.
Thanks.
Ready, hand up over there.
How can we get our city council district to put up section 4118 signs along the LA River and Tonka Watch? So that way we can have less homelessness along those areas.
That
And we can
is,
enforce it.
that is a lot of legwork on my part. And to pull all the data and information as far as will 4118 be applicable in that area? So it depends on number of calls. For service or incidents for police. So there's a criteria that has to be met as far as safety, fire, they pull calls for fire department, how many transports were done from there, all that comes into play. And if that's accepted and a council member accepts that, they have to go to city council and get it approved by city council to install that sign to make it a 4118 zone, which means no one can camp out in a certain area that's pre-designated.
Okay, time for one more public comment. Question?
Just one, if you don't mind me asking, I noticed that your two districts are separated. Why would that be instead of having them adjacent for better efficiency?
Put in a lot of miles in my car, that is true. Because I was assigned to 27, which is the North End Division, that's my area. And all the other areas are already filled by other officers, other senior leads. It wouldn't be fair to remove them and place them somewhere new when they're already familiar with their own area and the residents there are also familiar with the officer. So it wouldn't be fair to that community to move them that as way.
Is that gonna be permanent, you think, or?
No. We are actually hiring tomorrow our interviews for another senior lead. Right now, we're down 2. They're retired recently. And 2 others that are on the book still, they're not there. So we're doing the best that we can. Tomorrow's an interview that we're having for another senior lead to take a position. So that should lighten up the load. Whether that person gets assigned to here or somewhere else, I don't know.
Sounds encouraging anyway.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hand up.
Can you address the issue of the homeless camp is got larger and larger on the river between Colfax and behind it?
So thank you for bringing that up. Recently, the county installed a gate at the Colfax side because there was never a gate there to begin with, which made it look inviting as you came down the ramp. So the county installed a gate with a sign, no trespassing. That was recently installed, I believe, a couple of days ago. So we have to give them the opportunity to get out. Those will be addressed. I was actually there today. And they were all warned they need to leave because that area of the wash is a place for not them to be. So I know that CD Forest are working with them to get housing out there, to get them housed, but they're going to be vacating that location soon.
Great.
All right.
Great thing.
All right, that's enough time we have for this particular topic, but Senior Lead Officer Cesar Gonzalez, thank you for showing up and speaking with us. If you want to hear more about public safety, about the items we just talked about, Jeff Hardwick is the chair for the Public Safety Committee. He typically has a Senior Lead Officer there, and they meet this next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. So join the Public Safety Committee meeting if you want to get more. Okay? Next on the agenda, we have brush clearance, wildfire, zone 0. Andrew, would you like to introduce Warren Sutton?
Captain Sutton. So there's a deadline approaching, which the captain will address about brush clearance, and a lot of our neighbors, stakeholders have been surprised by the notices they've been getting to the city about brush clearance. So captain agreed to come and talk about the issue.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Captain Warren. So
It's actually an inspector, but or just Warren.
Captain.
Thank you for having me. I'll just give you a little information on our unit and then kind of go into those different items you mentioned, Andrew. My name's Warren Sutton. I'm part of our brush clearance unit, in the Los Angeles Fire Department. The unit's made up of 12 inspectors, a captain one, and we're responsible for about 160,000 properties in the, very high fire hazard severity zone, or what we call the brush area within the city. I'm currently assigned and have been assigned to the Pacific Palisades and Brentwood area for the last 5 years. And your inspector here is Matthew Stevens. He couldn't make it tonight, so I'm filling in. I'll give you his contact at the end if you have any questions that I can't answer. Our timeline, the first part of the year, we're doing appeals, handling our appeals for people who feel like they've been cited incorrectly. And we're also contracting out our city-owned and government-owned properties. We also send out our mailer, which hopefully many of you received that are in the brush area. And on the mailer, it used to be say vms3.lafd.org, and now it should say fins.lafd.org. But if you log in there, you put in your assessor's parcel number and the PIN code that's on the mailer, you can get a real-time status of your property. And if your property was cited, you can see pictures that are on there. You can also put your email in there, and if your property gets cited that day or gets a notice that day, you should get an email that day or that the property is cited. We begin our initial inspections on May 1st. That's when private properties are required to have the brush clearance done by. In my area, I have about 16,000 properties between Pacific Palisades and Brentwood, and we try to accomplish that within 2 months by the end of June, so June 30th. And the way that we get that done is we have what we call the brush task force, but it's pretty much other inspectors and fire department members in the field that will help me, and Inspector Stevens on the weekends, and maybe one day during the week for those 2 months to accomplish getting those properties and initial inspections done. After June 30th, we start our re-inspections. So in July, our re-inspections start. And then towards the end of July, we start packaging out the properties to get cleared by contractors that are certified by the city. It's a bid session, and every other Thursday we'll have a bid session where these contractors will bid on the properties, and the lowest bid wins the contract for clearing the properties. There's also an appeals process for people who feel they've been cited incorrectly, and some of those actually go to a hearing where there's a hearing officer. Fire department presents their side, and the homeowner or residents presents their side, and the hearing officer decides. What we're looking for currently is 200-foot clearance from structures, and it's not just your structure, it's also a neighbor's structure, and then 10 feet from roads. And in those areas, we want the brush and weeds trimmed down to 3 inches. We want the lower branches of trees and bushes trimmed up 1/3 the height of the tree or bush. So if it's a 50-foot tree, and the max is 6 feet. So it's a 50-foot tree, you only need to clear up to about 6 feet in height. We also want any dead material removed, so dead branches, dead palm fronds, dead pine needles, dead trees. And then any branches overhanging the roof line should be trimmed up 5 feet above the roof and 10 feet away from a chimney. There's fines associated or fees associated if you get cited or you get a notice, and a $31 fee for their initial inspection, about $760 if you don't pass the second inspection. And if we end up contracting the property out, there's about a $1,600 fee plus what the city pays the contractors to do the clearing. Our current code is actually pretty limited. Like right now, you can have a eucalyptus tree which has a dangerous oil that's flammable, and you can have that right next to your house. As long as it's alive and as long as the branches are trimmed up above the roof line, then that would be okay in our current code. That is changing. The State Assembly Bill 3074, which is the whole Zone 0. It sounds like that was adopted. From my understanding, that was adopted, and that's where the zone also increased. And so I spoke with Matt Stevens, who's your inspector, and he said there's properties now north of Ventura Boulevard that are included, and he said he believes it's close to 2,000 more properties that are part of the brush area now for the first time. And there's also areas that are now not part of the brush area, and this was all. The state is the one who figured this out with Ember forecasts, and I'm not exactly sure how the state figured it out, but the city adopts it, the state code, and then that's what we're left with here, or what we're dealing with here. Zone 0, so we have the increase in properties that that are in the brush area this year that we're inspecting, but we're not enforcing Zone 0 till 2029. There's a lot of pushback on Zone 0 because what it says right currently, or what they were talking about, was nothing combustible within 5 feet of the structure. So if you have a plant, a bush, a wood fence, a wood deck, I don't know how that would work, but there's a lot of pushback, and it sounds like that is now coming back the other direction a bit. So I would say don't go cutting anything down that you don't want, as long as you feel that your house is safe and it's within our current code, until we know what the results are going to be. That's 2029, so that's 3 years away. One thing with the Zone 0, or I was going to mention, is insurance. The insurance companies, and a lot of people have been getting put on the California Fair Plan, even dropped by their insurance. And I've been to some of these HOA meetings where they've had someone from the insurance industry come in and talk, and they're trying to bring these insurance companies back, and they're having some success, but they're being they're very strict, or way more strict than our current fire code. This type of siting that you have, those kind of issues. Couple of challenges that we have I don't know about this area, but in Pacific Palisades, the state land and MRCA has certain areas that are funded and they do brush clearance on, and then they have other areas that aren't funded and they don't do brush clearance. And some of those areas we try to clear if we have funds. The state land, the state park land, they do not do brush clearance on their land if it's close to your house. They say that it is the homeowner's responsibility to apply for and pay for a permit to clear the brush on their land. In the past, if we have had extra funds, we have tried to clear some of their land, and we've actually, one of the last times we tried, the park rangers stopped our brush clearance crews because they were concerned with how we were clearing the land, and it was too close. They didn't want us trimming within 50 feet of a bird's nest and certain things like that. If you in Assembly Bill 38 in 2021, this State Assembly Bill 38 passed, and any home that sells in the brush zone has to have an Assembly Bill 38 inspection, or a brush inspection, for escrow to close. I'll email Andrew these different email contacts and emails, but the email for it is laft.a as in Adam, b as in boy 38 inspection@lacity.org. And you just want to request an AB 38 inspection before escrow closes, and that way you shouldn't have any issues. A couple common complaints that we get. We'll get called out for a brush hazard or brush complaint, and we get there, and it's the neighbor's trees that have grown high and are now blocking the view that someone has had for years. And it's unfortunate. I know there was one time one lady I got called out to, and she had an ocean view for like 40 years, and now it was completely blocked, and that she couldn't work it out with her neighbor. And unfortunately, it's not a brush hazard. There's nothing we can do for view preservation. Maybe getting an ordinance passed somehow through the city, but there's nothing with the fire department on that. Branches overhanging property lines. If a branch is overhanging a property line, you're allowed to cut it. The one thing I would say with that, I've had one instance where there was a neighborhood dispute going on, and the homeowner said, well, they would get their arborist to say that you damaged or injured the tree. So just be mindful of that. But if it's overhanging the property line, you're allowed to cut that branch. Branches in the power lines, we cannot cite. But if you call DWP, which the number is 800 dial DWP, they will make a ticket, come out and cut the branches around the power lines. And then again, the contacts that I had were just matthew.stevens@lacity.org. And you can also email our general email, which is lafd.brush@lacity.org, or excuse me, lafdbrush@lacity.org. I'll email Andrew with these. There was the AB 38 inspection one. We have an 800 number, which is 800-994-4444. And then our FIMS login, where you can check the status of your property, which is www.fims.lafd.org. Any questions?
Questions?
Yes.
And way to back.
I live right by the LA River and, I, had inspected the, growth in the LA River between the Whitsett and Coldwater, with a few people, and it's a horrible overgrown mess, including, maybe at least half a dozen giant eucalyptus trees that the county and the city have been fighting about for decades. Neither one wants to take responsibility. A property line evaluation was done. We can now know that the eucalyptus trees are on the city side. My neighborhood's not gonna burn because my limb is 5 feet or 7 feet from my chimney. It's gonna burn because some homeless person decided to light a fire in the river under those eucalyptus trees, and then it's gonna ignite the whole zone. Is there any entity that's gonna apply this to what goes on in the river? It's just targeted for homeowners.
I mean, usually the waterways are like LA County Harbor, but if you're saying it's actually city property.
It's partially city, partially county.
Then the other thing is it within 200 feet of a structure? If it's not within 200 feet of a structure, then, I would just say email Matthew. And hopefully he can get it taken care of for you.
Okay. Have a hand right there with that.
I have a question, is what is the new area designated north of Ventura Boulevard compass?
You can see it online.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this area as much.
If you Google very high fire danger map.
VHF, was it VHF?
Yeah, I think they've changed the very high fire hazard severity zone just to very high fire zone now, or they've changed the naming a little bit.
It's something like that.
All right, we have a hand up back there.
Yeah, I'm a neighbor of the gentleman back here, and I've lived there 43 years and never gotten any kind of a request for an inspection. There's a very residential area. I have a wood fence that goes down the property line, and I don't think that it exceeds 5 feet from my side of my house to the fence. And I'm curious as to what if that falls into the new regulation? And if so, what are my options?
So currently, that won't be enforced till 2029, and there's still meetings where they're, sorry, with that. They're still figuring out what zone 0, what's gonna be in that what's allowed in that 5 foot area. It sounds like it was very stringent at first, and now it's moving kind of more towards the middle.
Okay.
All right, Barry, you have the.
So a couple blocks east of here, north of the river, the first couple 100 feet, the houses are very high fire zone. Then it's high, and then it's medium, and then it's nothing. Somebody that's just in the high, the next level, got a notice. I'm in medium, and I didn't. Why did somebody that's just high get a brush clearance notice, or was that an error? Because she's definitely not in the very high. She's at Kraft and Dilly.
I know that there was some talk at first that we would be inspecting both the very high and the high, and it sounds like, from my understanding, we're only doing the very high.
Well, because she's a high and she got a notice.
So I don't know why she got a notice.
And I'm medium and I didn't.
I will.
I'll tell her to check with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you mine.
All right,
Sorry.
Any questions from the board?
It used to be, that when we were doing brush clearance, we would do it and leave everything. Is it now that everything has to be taken off a hillside?
It's
100%?
It should be raked out. There are some people you can hire to do brush clearance, and they'll weed whack and just leave all the weeds there once they weed whack, but they're supposed to rake it out. Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes people will call and complain. I've had instances where people have called and complained and said, hey, the neighbor weed whacked, but they didn't actually rake the weeds out.
Question?
Not a question, but I went on the fire department
website last year because my client has a vacant lot. And you have a very good list of different vendors that can help homeowners to come out and clear their property.
Yes, thank you. On our website, which I didn't mention, I'll send it to Andrew. We have a website and you can go on there and get a list of our certified contractors. And they know what's required.
Because we tried to hire 5 people and none of them, this property was too steep and they couldn't do it. But the person we got from you did.
Another item with steep properties too is that if you do have a dead tree, we recommend you're allowed to leave the root system and the what is it? Drawing a blank there, but the base of the tree there. Stump. Just so that you don't cause any erosion.
I have time for one more question.
Yes, my name is Karen Mizrahi and I've lived in Studio City since 1969. I'm a realtor. What we're doing in our business now, it's called fire hardening. Is that what it's called? Fire hardening, you have to have your property. You have a full disclosure, I think it's 5 pages, and the seller has to complete this disclosure for the buyer. And we're gonna be dealing with it a lot more the closer we get to 29, and it probably a year from now when we're sitting in this room, we're gonna be discussing fire hardening because it comes all the way down from Fryman to Briarno, which is just south of Mulholland, in the Fryman Valley too, and then along, of course, the river and everything else. And it's something that the state is going to really start pushing closer than 29 than not other than 29. And if you're gonna be selling your house, you as a seller are gonna have to make a disclosure. And there's companies that are coming out now that are focused on this service of fire hardening. So it should become a little bit easier to work because there will be the companies that deal with the fire hardening. And it's something we have to deal with. And I have 3 Italian cypress, my neighbor has it. And usually that's the one tree that all firemen hate, is because it's like you lit it and it's like a match that goes up. Fortunately, we are in an underground utility area, so we don't have the utility posts and everything, but Fryman Canyon is all telephone poles and I don't know what they're gonna be doing with Fryman, because Fryman, everything is against what fire hardening is required. It's just something that's coming to light.
Okay, all right, that's enough. We don't have any more time for this topic, unfortunately, but
Jerry, I just want to say, just one thing, when I have all the information, all documents, it'll be on our website.
Okay.
On the neighborhood council website.
Is that part of the land sustainability?
We'll just put it on the website.
Okay, it'll be on the general website.
I'll email them to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's just, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Riverwalk at Studio City Development Project. Thank you. Where's Matt doing presentations today, dear?
Oh, okay.
Just a delivery and a Q&A.
Okay. So how should I?
Well, we plan to have a more extensive conversation at the land use committee.
Yeah.
And so right now, we would like to just deliver information for the 5 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes of Q&A. And then any further conversation on this will go to the land use committee, which is scheduled for April 30th, Barry, where we have a full presentation and a full set of comments from stakeholders. But right now, it'd be more of a abbreviated presentation.
Okay, should I speak? How should you like me to sit here?
You get to sit here.
Stand.
I think you want to
Yeah,
stand.
I'll stand and. Yeah, sorry about that. So I'll do this without graphic. I'll try to.
I actually have a flyer too. I do have a flyer. There's some back here.
Yes,
Flyer.
boards up here. My name is Jonathan Jensen. I'm with Jensen Development Company.
Excuse me, can you block one of our cameras?
Oh, sorry. I'm the entitlement consultant on this job. I'm not the developer. I'm working with the family that owns the property.
There's two families who've owned it for 40, 45 years. The property goes from Whitsett through to the bowling alley. So it's about 6 acres. We own and operate the bowling alley. We're pennies. So we own that property. We're going through entitlements. So we'll have land use presentation next Thursday. We'll have traffic engineers, architects, and all those people.
Say that again, louder.
We go to land use next Thursday. Here, I guess, is that.
Yes, yes.
So we'll bring our architects, our engineers, and all those people with us. Tonight's just information.
Traffic, the traffic.
Yeah, so come Thursday, to land use, and you can hear from the experts and the people that did the reports. So right now, the project's zone commercial, has a river walk ordinance on it, river access, has a base density of about 650 units today. We're proposing 815 units, so a 25% density bonus with a 7% affordable component to it. We also have about.
I'm having a tough time hearing you as you walk back.
Okay.
Like, can just
We have about
follow?
75,000 square feet of proposed retail. I have about 148,000 today. And in terms of parking, we're proposing about 1,800 spaces. Underground, 3 levels, 4 levels underground. And we're going to Planning Commission, June 11th, I think is potentially. We go to land use next Thursday, and we go to
How many levels underground?
4.
Is it rental,
What's it?
is it rentals or is it condominiums?
It'd be apartments, rental.
All rentals.
Isn't the questions at the end? We let him talk,
Before we take questions, let's hear your sort of
Yeah.
statement.
Can you sort of give a statement?
Uh,
As you're ready to take questions.
Yeah,
Bring it down.
Right, okay, sure.
Have you considered the amount of traffic that's gonna cause on Ventura Boulevard?
Yes.
Which is already bumper to bumper many times during the day.
Yes.
So what are you gonna do
So
about
we'll bring the traffic analysis in on land use, and we can address that.
it? Are you going to widen Ventura Boulevard?
No, actually,
You double deck it?
no, we're not.
All right, the next question was the gentleman with your hand up.
Yeah, so your website, that second poster over there, your large picture in the back, is very deceiving. This shows a 2-lane road.
I
But
see,
the picture in
and
the back shows a 2-lane road. And the beautiful large trees here.
that's Valley Heart. So Valley Heart, I should, so we're between Valley Heart on the river and Ventura Boulevard. So that's our land. So that picture is Valley Heart.
Okay.
So what we did is we oriented the residential to Valley Heart. That's really the front door, the residential. The front door for retail is Ventura, if you think about it. We have a very unique site. We have 2 front doors. Oh, I think.
All right, the next question.
So then this orientation to Ventura Boulevard shows the driveway dumping right onto Ventura Boulevard. There's no,
So there's a signal, proposed signal.
So that circle, where is that circle?
That circle is the termination of Valley Heart.
That's on Valley Heart side.
Yeah, so it's, if you go down Valley Heart today and you run into the office building, right?
Right, yeah.
And there's a gate there. So it used to be overflow parking for Jerry's, when Jerry's was here. So that, the Valley Heart terminates at the office building. So that circular is the fire department turnaround. That's a turnaround.
And a hand up there in the back. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Just curious, about how long does it take you to develop a project like this from, hey, I've got an idea to his plans?
Well, it's been 8 years so far. Yeah. So we own the property, little context. We were there when Aaron Brothers was there, Bed Bath was there. So, you know, the partners realize that, you know, our tenants are gone. We're kind of an extinct. We have such a great site, but it was last Bed Bath and Beyond. It was one of the best units. We have Staples. You know what happened to Staples? We have Aaron Brothers.
What about Carney?
Carney's removed someplace.
What happened?
Yes,
All right, we have another question from someone online, Brandon. Off mute.
Hello?
Brandon? Yes.
Yeah, question. The land you're gonna be developing is very similar to the land on, the land hold on, well, we got two. Would you just go somewhere else? Thank you. Anyway, sorry, there's two iPads going on right here. My apologies.
That's okay.
The land you're developing is very similar to the Sportsman development and the Riverwalk developments. Are you going to be working with those developments and try to figure out what kind of problems they face so you can avoid those problems to streamline the process? Thank you.
Well, we are the Riverwalk.
Not Harbor West.
Oh, Harvard West.
I assume we.
Okay. We're a little different than Sportsman's. We have much more sort of linear area, and we have Valley Heart. So as I was mentioning, we have Valley Heart really acts like a front door to my residential. So that's where a lot of the traffic will flow. We have a full section, a full turn intersection, and then we have 4 other driveways in and out of the project. So Sportsman's is kind of tough, or very tough to get in and out of. The truck loading is tough. Our truck loading's on property, it goes in. So, yeah, I don't want to talk too much.
Mr. President, I have a quick follow-up, if I may, very quickly.
Okay, follow up.
I was really also talking about the water table as well. They've been having some issues with that because there is a water table underneath, and you are going to be digging out very, very deeply. So is that something that's coming up in the conversation?
In what ways? In terms of structural integrity, or what do you? So water tables are not unique. We will build essentially a ship, a bathtub. That's how when we build at the beach, that's how we build. So we build, you know, essentially a bathtub with a very thick mat foundation. It sort of just sits there. So there's not an issue with the water table.
I have a question way in the back, gentleman with the hat. Can you stand up and speak loudly?
About how many jobs was created, about how much money was put into Studio City during the
jobs, construction jobs, or construction jobs probably 500 or 600. We typically have 400 people on site.
Temporary.
Yeah, it's temporary. Then they'll leave behind the retail jobs and then provide them.
And during the construction, you're happy.
And then you right.
But how much money will you be putting into the economy to build this?
You know, I don't. I'd have to take a second on that.
Right, the next thing I saw was the gentleman with the red hat. Please stand, please.
What is your western boundary? I'm trying to visualizing it. Is it going to be that office, is that office building yours?
No. So we're so right next to Penn's or the old Jerry's, right? That's my parking lot. Kind of right at the end of the street, right at the end of Valley Heart. I didn't take the drive from the curb cut goes, it's not the signal, it's another curb cut right at that place to go into the apartments. So I did not connect. The reason that circular thing is there is I didn't want to cut through traffic, you know, people coming down Valley Heart and then sneaking into,
getting out.
you know, into Ventura.
Right, next thing I saw was a lady there.
Yeah, not tall.
It's 7 stories, 84 feet tall, as measured by the lowest point of the site. So
Does that include the underground?
The garage?
no, it does not include the garage. So the lowest point for us is at the river, is over on Valley.
So it's 100.
Okay.
No, it's 84 feet.
From the river.
No, 84 feet. For the lowest part, not from
It's
50 feet in the ground.
Valley Heart Street level.
Yeah, so the
Next
so the
question.
site slopes down to the
Next
historic.
question is way in the
How tall
back.
is the building that's there now?
Hold on,
Hold on, we're waiting
hold
to
on.
be called on. Sorry.
Hand way in the back.
You're smiling.
I like what I do.
Up all this, and you have a lot of money. You aren't living in this community, and I'm sorry. One of the big dangers of what you're talking about, especially if you're going underground, is earthquake study. Because even as far over as Universal Studios along the river there, that's all there's a fault line. Okay, now you're talking about like, this is gonna be a jump off, it's so beautiful. You've taken down all the trees, we lost so many trees with the Harvard Westlake. Our nature, today's Earth Day, our nature is being destroyed by developers like yourself. Which, what is
Can I respond?
What happened is other than money.
So we've owned the site for 45
We don't
years.
Hold up, let's,
Structure, not have the infrastructure to support all of your projects. And our community is already dealing with great congestion at Coldwater and Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't care because you say, well, we're gonna put the light up. That doesn't help the people who have to really live here. And I'm sorry, but you're smiling because this is all about money. The city makes money, developers, the new violent word, developers make money. And you're saying, I own this from here to there. And that's my boundary, the Valley Park.
do you have a question?
Yeah, that's my question is, where is your feeling about community?
Well, like I
Where
said,
is your feeling about community?
Can you let him respond, please?
yeah.
Can you respond?
So we've owned the site for 45 years. We operate things. We give bowling, we support charities, we hold birthday parties, we do all that. We own Bed Bath and Beyond. It went bankrupt. It's not my problem. I can't prevent that.
You're the landlord.
I've been trying to lease Bed Bath and Beyond for 6 years. It's vacant. What do you want my family to do?
Build a community, something that's.
Build a park?
No, build.
What would you like me to do?
A community.
All right.
center. Build a
We have another question. Sorry, we have a question to the left, Scott.
All right, thank you very much. I hear a lot of people complaining about traffic on Ventura Boulevard. The majority, overwhelming majority of the city voted yes on HLA. I'm sure many of you did. You're supposed to ride your bike, take a bus and walk. That's what the city voted for.
Great.
So enough about this traffic.
No, it's not.
You,
And let's
My
let Scott
turn,
speak,
ma'am.
please.
plus HLA is proposing turning a lane of Ventura Boulevard into a bus lane, which you voted for. Number two, talking about the entitlements, where do you think they came from? You all voted for progressive lawmakers, elected officials, appointed officials, who put these entitlements in law where local agencies cannot circumvent the state laws. Otherwise, you get what's called the builder's remedy, and they can come and build whatever they want. If you haven't heard Mayor Bass and our council members and every city and state elected official talk about the housing crisis, build, build, build. This is what you get. This is what you voted for. Maybe not every one of you, but the overwhelming majority voted for this. This is what you get.
We all vote. That doesn't mean our vote.
This is what you vote.
All right, let's take another, hold on. Let's take someone from the online. Annie, your hand was up.
Hi, yeah, I was just curious. I know you mentioned 7% would be affordable housing. Do you have an estimate of, what a 1-bedroom rent would be at this property? And how did you come up with that 7% affordable housing number?
Sure, 7% is the requirement under the housing density bonus law. So that's a statute. It's about 46 units in our case, and they're income restricted. So that's 50%. It's called very low income, which is roughly, don't hold me to it, but it's a 3-person household makes $58,000 a year. And I think the rent is, again, I may get this wrong, is 20 or 25% of that number. So it's based on income.
I actually do know this.
Oh, okay.
It's around 1,200 right now. That changes every year. But right now, under the basically the formula that the federal government and the state use and the city administers, that would be about $1,200.
Yeah, it's across the board. So it doesn't
It's
matter if it's
standard.
in Studio City or if it doesn't matter if it's in.
All right, you have a hand in the back, to the left.
What's your best guess of when you start open for business, apartments or commercial or whatever?
Open for
What
business?
year to look at,
Oh,
you know?
I mean, I still have tenants there.
I mean,
Hopefully
new
they'll stay.
construction,
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, and it goes in phases.
Yeah.
So the first phase would be from Witsit to the our driveway at Staples, kind of by pins,
About 5 years from now.
about 5 years, and then that one would go.
Let's get the hand right in front, not sure it's behind you. Oh, yes,
You mentioned,
no, stand. Lady, yes,
you said the word
stand.
Staples, and you all know about Staples, but none of us know about.
Okay, well, Staples, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, sold. So they bifurcated, they separated Staples. Staples no longer does buildings. They don't do stores anymore. So they're shrinking their stores. They haven't they haven't had a new store for, I don't know, 10 years or something. So the Staples name lives online. So their online business is Staples. Separate company, still is licensed to use the Staples name, operates a store until those stores' leases expire. And when they expire, they do not renew them.
When does that Staples expire?
My Staples,
Yeah.
unfortunately, in 97. I mean, in 27.
27.
All right, you have the hand up right there. You stand. Thank you.
But the construction and how it is structured, is that going to be depending on the public?
It'll be disruptive. I won't lie. You'll know we're there. Fortunately, we have enough land that we can stage our construction on site, so we don't have to close the street. Which is unusual. Usually when I build, I have to close the street, until I can get to my land. So here, the construction of the garage and everything is about 4 years. It takes about 18 months to 24 months to excavate, and then you build back up.
And what if you find you're on a fault?
We do fault studies. So we do fault studies. Faults are easy to find. We trench.
You've been there 45 years, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the faults are not discovered when you grade. That's, no.
It's already done.
All right, let's see if we have any questions from any of the board members. Andrew?
Well, this is not from me, but it's actually from a stakeholder who sent me an email, and she was pretty focused on sustainability. And I know you can't answer all these, but
Yeah.
She was saying, will there be solar panels on the roofs? What about parking structure? Will be installing green roofs to reduce heat island effect? Will you be planting trees? How many, what kind? Will you use California natives? You have a plan for stormwater runoff, rain barrels? I mean, the overall question.
Yeah, I mean, the Title 24, I mean, California is a very green building code in and of itself. So yeah, you have to do electrical charges. You're required for solar. Used to be solar ready. Now you have to put the solar on. You have to retain the stormwater, filter it, and release it back out. To the extent we can use that on site, we will. Tree count, you'll have to ask the, land use, they'll have that.
It's premature,
But yeah, that, what we're trying to do is accomplish, an open air, engaging sort of area that can then connect to the river. We think connecting to the river with those tree canopies, and Valley Heart's very pretty. And I'd like to enhance that.
Right. Brandon, you
So, you mentioned asking that question and talking about that at land use. Do you have more information about the trees and the sustainability?
Yeah, they'll have the specimens and,
Next week.
yeah, we'll bring the biologist with us. I just didn't,
Okay, great.
since there was a presentation, I didn't,
Everyone should,
drive with us.
somebody who's interested in this should really come to the land use committee meeting next Thursday.
Can you speak louder?
You said that everyone who wants to hear more should come to the land use committee meeting, that's where he's going to be able to present all of the information in more detail, and you have more time to ask
What
questions.
is that?
A week from tomorrow.
Again, all the information is on the Studio City Neighborhood Council website.
Yes. Well, don't check one more person online. Brandon, is your hand up or that's from before? Okay, done. All right.
Will you reimburse Carney's for moving?
No. I've extended Carney's and haven't raised their rent for 100 years. I'm not here to hurt anybody, but they're not my trains. They're trained. I talked to Carney's, I've talked to the Wolf brothers. said, hey, you know what, if it was me or I would go, it's terrific. But it's not mine, it's their train.
I would have two more questions, one from the board member and then one from the gentleman.
I just want to say, I think this is probably a better use of the space than the carnies and the empty staples and the pins. Like, this is probably better for the community, better for the economy, and allow more younger people to move into the neighborhood.
Question, last one from Sickle right there.
Thank you. So I'm not totally developed, I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Is the property density allows you to go to 30 feet, which is consistent with the neighborhood and the community, to 84 feet? I mean, what we're getting, I live
So
on,
that's,
I live on Sunset
so-
Hill, which is the hill.
Yeah.
That we'll be looking at.
Right, straight across the road. So there's, things called waivers and incentives, right, which you guys are all beginning to understand painfully, as guys like me come through the process. So, there's a height waiver that's granted.
Is granted, or you're asking?
No, it'll be at city planning commission. So on June 11th, that's the date you should show up, because that's the date of city planning commission. Show up at land use next week, and we'll have the experts there. But then June 11th is tentative. I believe that's the date.
8:30.
Okay, you got it.
Right.
Will be.
Where is it? Van Nuys City Hall.
I believe it's actually down here.
All right, let me close with a question from Richard.
Yeah, having built a property, from dirt directly, east of you on Ventura Court, which is an extension of Valley Heart.
Yeah.
When we're doing our core samples, we hit water at 40 feet at one location and about 60 at another location. And next door was about the same thing. It does restrict the cost of building a underground parking to a certain extent, because everything has to be bigger and thicker, and if it leaks, you're in trouble, because obviously the aquifer is much larger than the wash. And it's underneath there, and it comes up the side. If you see the cross section, I think they're made by LiDAR or whatever it is, there's a lot of water under there, under that property.
Pressure,
What?
just the pressure. The pressure that pushes.
Well, I'm saying, if it's in your basement, you don't want that.
Yeah, no, I believe me. But we build close to the ocean, we build towers in San Diego, things like that, so. Yeah, dewatering, active dewatering is expensive. These are expensive parking spaces.
Yeah, exactly, but one other thing also is that the DWP says, Ellie says it's their water, and if you suck it out and pour it somewhere else, we're gonna charge you for all the water.
Yeah,
Kidding.
it's not our water. We pay, right, you think it's your water because it's groundwater, it's not your water.
All right.
Right?
Well, they say DWP claims it's their water.
Yeah.
Or LA's water, and so if you basically dump it somewhere, they wanna charge you for it.
All right, I think that's it. We've ran out of time, but there are a lot of topics I just want to talk about in this one. I think we'll be able to explore those deeper during the land use committee. I want to thank, the team coming over here from, Riverwalk and adjusting your plans and not having a presentation. And Bill's questions, so we appreciate it.
Can I make one more
statement? All right, you want to make one more closing statement?
So we're here, we're inside pins, a couple of days a week, we run pins. Here, we'll meet with anyone and everyone, whatever you like.
All the time, come on, literally.
We hosted pizza night for the community, we've invited
Not
people
all
in.
communities, sir, not 120 homes on Sunset Hill. Nobody's heard about this.
Until about 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
So this notion of being plugged into the community is not the community that's closest to the law.
All right, let's find out now. Sorry, let's finish up. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all, I was just gonna say, if anyone has questions,
I actually.
you wanna sit down, love to.
And that was actually deliberately included. I actually deliberately included that committee, that section of town that was not in the original map. I actually deliberately included it, so I know those. What is your name? My name's Nicole, 2 o'clock 12, and I'm a consultant of the law. Okay, thank you.
Right. All right, thanks, everyone. I appreciate the presentation. I appreciate all the questions from the stakeholders. All right, we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. Time for public comments on non-agenda items within the board's jurisdiction. First person up is Jay Freeman. Right, Jay? Yes, you do.
Items, other items not on the.
Quiet. Can we carry conversations on outside the auditorium? No, conversations outside, please. He was one that made it.
Yeah, I was going.
All right, Jacob.
I live on, Millbank Street, just, next to Beaman Park. Yeah.
Dolph still here. Can you please take the conversation outside? We have to continue on with the meeting. Okay? All right, guys.
Okay, I live on, Millbank Street, just across from Beaman Park. And I've noticed, in the last couple of months, a big increase of blind scooters that are left, in the middle of sidewalks, not only on that street. Yeah.
Hey, Riverwalk team, can you take the conversation outside, please? Yeah. Keep the conversation outside,
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming out.
I'm saying.
Thank you. All right, Jay.
Lime scooters, I live on Millbank Street across from Beaman Park, and I've noticed a real increase in abandoned lime scooters on the sidewalks, in the middle of sidewalks on Millbank Street and the surrounding streets like Sarah Street and Beaman. I decided to try to call Lime to get them removed, and they were very responsive on the phone, but not responsive in action. I waited about 10 days and nothing got removed, even though they said that they would come. They have no time frame of saying that they'll remove them. I called, I filled out a 311 online, and that worked, which is great. My challenge with that is that why should city resources be getting used to help a private company that is just not doing what it is that they're supposed to do? And the Lime scooters are in a residential area. It's just like the chances of a ride initiating from there is very low. So I don't know what we can do about that. I don't know if it's the council person or the transportation committee, or whether I'm the only person that.
Sydney, you want to have a word?
I think there are certain requirements for where they can be left, and the company can be cited if they're not following the requirements. But I actually haven't tried to address this before, so I would have to look into it.
Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yes, please.
I think also it's important to look at it's a 311 because if they are not doing the right thing, the city is not renewing it. Because they're monitoring it.
And take pictures.
So,
Oh, I got pictures.
the 311 piece is an important piece of that. They're gonna respond to the 311. It's the same as, with Recycla, with, the waste management, in commercial for commercial properties and multifamily. They're all franchised and have permission from the city.
Okay.
So they're tracking, the city's tracking that.
Okay.
All right.
So I follow up with Sydney?
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
great.
Give me my card.
Okay, great.
Next, we have Scott Vandell.
Hello there. My comment is based on all the participation that we just had for the Riverwalk. And I realize you have a land use committee meeting on this topic next week, but I think this is a perfect project for an ad hoc. You have a whole room filled with people who would never join the land use committee, but I bet some of them would join the specific single interest committee ad hoc to address the Riverwalk project. They seem highly motivated and at the moment very uninformed, and they could be very beneficial to be involved in the process. All of the other major land use issues that this neighborhood council has addressed in recent memory were all handled by ad hoc committees. It can report to land use or it can report to the board, but you will get this kind of involvement in committee work on one issue that can meet on Zoom. There's a lot of public interest. And if it's the land use committee, they're not going to want to hear about gas stations that want to sell beer and wine and other issues that are very minor. I think it would be a good opportunity. Also, if I still have time, you're down 4 board members, very productive board members. So please consider the committee chairs who send you motions. Every motion requires a lot of work from the productive board members. Every financial request requires a lot of work from the productive board members, especially you don't have a treasurer. So for those who just show up once a month and do nothing more than vote, consider that, because you have 2 empty officer seats that were newcomers. And when you show up and just vote, you're putting the burden of work on the others who have stepped up to do all the hard work for the neighborhood council. So if that's all you want to do is show up once a month and vote, just quit and let other people take the position. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We will take your ad hoc recommendation under consideration. All right, let's see, next is Pamela.
I'm here to give the Grove report again. So, person that, Stephen, that was harassing everyone has been arrested, fortunately. Yeah. Woohoo. He was here. Sorry, okay, I'll stand up.
Just,
Stephen?
can you introduce yourself and?
Oh, I'm Pamela.
And put in context the area you're talking about.
The Grove is over here between Moore Park and Ventura, Laurel, and Radford. And so in that area, we had a neighbor that was harassing a lot of women, including myself and several other. And I had been complaining about him for the last 2 meetings, and he's been arrested. Hopefully he will not post bond. He's got 4 felonies. We'll see what happens at the end of the month. 2, we had a homeless guy break into a vacant house on Gentry, 2 days ago. Now we've got it, they've changed the locks and everything. Hopefully they won't return, but he left with lots of bags and a bite, and it was reported. Today in Moore Park, we had 3 encampments that showed up recently. I called the rangers yesterday. They came out today. They cited 1 woman, and then they disassembled 1 tent, but they couldn't cite them because they weren't there. So hopefully they'll be back again and they will cite them, hopefully. Neon, one of the guys in the encampment that goes back and forth on the north side of the river, then south, back and forth, he finally got services, which is good. But we still have 2 encampments on the south side, on the corner of South Valley Heart and Laurel Canyon. We also have 4229 Radford that is vacant. Today was the last day that they could comply with, they keep trying to pull permits, and it's just a homeless haven for the last 40 years. So I just talked to Sydney, and hopefully we can get something done with that, and they won't be able to keep pulling permits saying that they're going to do something with the house, and they don't for the last 40 years. And that's it, other than there's some poles over on Laurel Canyon. And I mentioned to Sydney that are laying on the bridge, that it makes it difficult for people to pass on the bridge with strollers and everything. So he'll be looking into that. So that's the latest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Larry Rogers,
Did you say 40 years? 40 years, yes.
is Larry Rogers here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
So I have two questions for the board. One, wanted to know what the status was on the 5-story building that was gonna go up on Moore Park, adjacent to Whitsett with 105 units, 2 bedrooms, no parking. And if it's still approved and still going forward, I want to know why this board helped approve getting all of the homeowners south of Moore Park to prevent from, let's see, from the east, from west of Whitsett, all the way to Radford, to prevent parking on their streets, so that the people who do have cars for this new building are just gonna be having to push to the north side of Moore Park and burdening the north side parking with all of their cars. So those are my two questions for the board. Do you know the status on that building? Is it still gonna go up?
The neighbors sued, and it's now being reapplied for under a different, not under ED1, something else, but they can still do it without parking. And the reason for the requested parking district south of Moore Park was because all of the neighbors asked us to do a motion to the council member asking for it. If the neighbors north of Moore Park would like that, they're welcome to request it at a transportation committee meeting, and we forward it to the board.
We didn't want to burden.
Yeah.
North didn't want to burden everybody with having no place to park with their cars. You'll be putting them where? And then also there's a church called the Presbyterian Church that has meetings for addiction and various things. They'll have nowhere to park for their people.
All right, thank you. All right,
Are you Barry Johnson?
yeah, thank you. Show of hands, any other public comment? Public comment.
Oh, I do.
Okay,
Is the good thing about the parking aspect is that banks, I have been told, do not want to make loans to apartment buildings without parking. So the longer we can still get this delayed, the better, and eventually maybe the developer will get the message and build it with some parking spots. So, but that's why Studio City, both in CD2 and CD4, probably has 6 of these proposed right now, and none of them have started building anything.
I have a question. What about the one on Hoffman? Is that one?
Same thing.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
all right. We're up to item with 6 announcements by government representatives. Oh, Richard.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to 2 things that came up already. One of course is the big poles on the bridge. The other on the lime stuff. And my particular thing, which is connected with the lime stuff basically, is that as somebody with some mobility impairments, I have problems with the autonomous food carts.
Okay.
Some of them block the sidewalks. Last week, we had 2 of them facing each other at a power pole. Other times, they'll get too wide and they look like they're having an argument. They're not actually, but they're inanimate objects. But they block the sidewalk. It makes it difficult for me. It makes it probably difficult for other people too.
All right, thank you, Richard. All right, now let's hear from government representatives. Sydney or Lee?
Hi. I will introduce myself. Hi, I'm Sydney List, Councilmember Romans Field Deputy for Studio City, also Laurel Canyon. A couple of events coming up that I will share with you are right here. On April 25th, there is going to be a clean ride cleanup event at Griffith Park, which is an activity to clean the bike lanes and areas around Griffith Park on Forest Lawn Drive in preparation for an upcoming Finish the Ride event. I have flyers for both of those that I will share with Jerry or with Andrew.
On May 9th, also in Griffith Park, there's going to be a pet adoption and care event. Chance to take home a new pet or play animal themed games for kids, or also I think receive microchipping and vaccination services.
Who's sponsoring that?
That is being sponsored by Julie Mallow Homes. I don't know Julie Mallow, but she's sponsoring what will certainly be a lovely event. I also wanted to mention the Bureau of Street Lighting assessment ballot that went out to property owners on April 17th. This is the Bureau of Street Lighting's effort to raise $125 million additionally annually to support their program, existing maintenance needs, backlog, and also plans for new services like solar streetlights and expansions to the network. This is what they have said is necessary to have a functioning streetlight system, which we all know is very important for public safety and people's ability to enjoy their communities. So I just want to flag that any property owners will have the chance to vote on that.
Does that apply to streets that don't have streetlights?
No, so only property owners who receive a benefit from a street lighting district will be voting. Only those property owners will be assessed for the cost of the increased assessment. And if you are a benefit receiver, then you'll see the proposed increase in the assessment on the ballot when you receive
So
it.
I have no streetlights until the end of the block. I'm at Rye and, I don't know Ryan Rhodes.
I think
Rhodes has a light.
If your frontage doesn't have a street light along it, you're probably not in the district.
Okay.
But you can look at like a past property tax bill, and if it's ever been there before, then it will continue to be there and it may be increased.
What's the council person's position on this?
Her letter that she put out a couple weeks ago said that she acknowledges that this is what is necessary to maintain the system and enhance it in the future.
Rather than finding money somewhere else?
I believe that is not allowed under the law, because street lighting is considered a Prop 218 special benefit only, so the city can't put money directly into services that provide a special benefit to certain constituents and not others. So the entire program is funded through this benefit that's assessed to those who benefit from it.
Okay.
How does that all jive with the solar program that the city council voted for to change over? Like, I got this ballot, but I don't want to vote to do it if they're going to come and change it to solar.
Are you talking about the mayor's recent executive?
Yeah,
order?
yeah.
That came out yesterday. And how she's increasing the budget towards streetlight.
For solar.
Yes.
I mean, I'd much rather do that than have solar than increase my property tax bill on that assessment.
I don't know how those play together. And we should certainly.
I think
find out
one
about that.
sort of
Yeah.
happened independently of the other.
I don't know that the executive directive involved new funds for the system. I think it might have involved some emergency dollars that are not available on an ongoing basis, or they pulled funds from somewhere else. But this is a permanent funding source.
Okay. Anything else, Sydney? We have a question from someone online. Sherry, is your hand up? Yes, not. All right, that's it.
Oh,
We have a hand right there.
Sydney. I have a question specifically to the board, I guess. About 20 or 30 years ago, I came to a meeting and they used to have microphones and speakers. And I hear a lot of rumbling in the back, can't hear. Why did they give up having a microphone, amplifier and speakers? You know, to be respectful of people's time that take the evening off to show up here.
Right, and this person should have to be facing this way.
Well, or
so
with a
that they can
microphone.
Look at him And he's still looking at you. We're your constituents. You're ignoring us. You speak so low, I couldn't hear a word you said. It's really annoying. We came back today just because of what was gonna happen. But we'll not come back unless you guys can,
Can't hear you half the time.
right, and we're not that old.
We'll see what we can do to improve the.
She lies.
The AV for here.
We are old.
We're looking at trying to improve our AV here, so do you know that?
What's that?
We're looking to improve our audio video here,
Good idea.
okay? Good
Sydney,
point.
did you want to talk about the Ventura Place?
Yes, LADOT committed to installing the new design for lane striping and parking meters on Ventura Place. They're committed to doing that in June. We don't have exact dates yet. It'll probably be one day, it might be 2 days. There will be some traffic closures. And as soon as we have a date, that'll be shared with the business stakeholders and the community. And that will create 19 net new parking spaces using diagonal head-in parking on the north side of Ventura Place.
So I posted your map and we got a tremendous amount of feedback. A lot of it was, how do you address, valet parking, which is taking up a lot of the meters?
Valet parking
And the other thing was all the Lyft and Uber drivers that are double parking.
Green White has valet parking like 4 meters. They just suddenly took over four parking.
May very well not be permitted.
Yeah, and you can report that to Public Works or,
No, the police commission.
Yeah.
yeah, because I have done that.
But why not make it part of the process of the transition when the city
Well,
goes in there and changes
if
it?
they had a permitted valet zone, then we would have been aware of that through this planning process and it would have been taken into account, which is why I don't think it's.
There aren't any on Ventura
Yeah.
Place.
So gave everybody this handout. May I give one to Sydney? Thank you.
All right, Sid,
This
yes,
is
your
a
time.
direct response to this question.
Right.
I have a couple of others. So may I comment on this?
Not-
So we appreciate this diagonal parking. It really helps, but it's just a drop in the bucket for this neighborhood.
No.
So I live right here and own a couple of units and sit on the boards, and we communicate with 5 other condominium and apartment properties right here representing 200 residents in this 2-block area. We got really 9 problems right here. The restaurants along Ventura Place put all their dumpsters out in the alley.
Oh my God.
In back.
That's terrible.
And so that 2-lane alley really is 1 lane because all the dumpsters are back there. The Great White does their valet parking in the alley. So on Sunday, their sign that sits out on the end of the street, help me with the name of the No, on the river,
Yeah.
right? So it directs
Yeah,
traffic down the alley.
Officer Gonzalez,
Yeah.
I wish we'd had a chance to talk about it with him while he was here.
Yeah, so it directs all the traffic down the alley and the cars stack up. And not even 1 car can pass in either direction.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick up your dry cleaning or whatever, the alley is completely blocked. So any cars that are trying to circulate to park for farmer's market or any local traffic can't even pass down that alley in either direction. So can we ask don't the restaurants have to put their dumpsters on their own property?
They should be, yeah.
Yeah, so look at the
So
pictures.
I
Look at
got a
the pictures
complaint
right there.
from some other folks who live on Hoffman and have the alley. About trash can pickup times and like lids not being closed with trash can placements. I did reach out to Waste Management. I haven't heard back from them directly, but I also just put in a 311 complaint for Recycla enforcement. So we'll get a response from Waste Management, and they're responsible for holding their customer accountable for placing the cans the way they're supposed to. And it sounds like early pickups before 6 a.m. have been occasional, but still a problem.
Yeah, so those
Yeah.
dumpsters sit out there 7 days a week. they never put them back on their
That's right.
property. Look at the picture.
I walked through the other day. It seemed,
Management people
Did you
that
follow
leave it in
what
the
is
alley.
yeah, let me, get your
Okay.
name and I'll give you my card.
Okay, so yeah, this is the neighborhood and I attached photos. So AB 413 is not being enforced in this neighborhood whatsoever. That requires 20 feet. Yeah, you know, and just look at the photos. Look at these cars blocking, fire hydrants, these cars sitting in the intersections. You know,
What's your name?
I'm Bob.
Hi, Bob. Here, please
Thank you.
send me an email. We can talk further tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so you can follow the one out.
Yeah, so you all have this handout, we do, and we got a lot of problems in this neighborhood with
But we're
parking and traffic.
Thank you. Thanks, Sydney.
Thanks.
Any other?
I'm going for Sydney, you know, when you had all those trucks going up and down Whitson for the construction for the sports facility, Whitson got pretty well destroyed. And we hold Harvard Westlake responsible to repave where their trucks are just destroyed.
I mean, yes, property owners are supposed to be accountable for construction damage to the road.
Right. Drive on Woodson from Moore Park. Recently, we have one block repaid from Moore Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking
This
about?
one- All right, so I got, so this, people that just built this apartment building here, they spilled wet cement on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. And I went to the construction manager and I said, you're supposed to clean up that wet cement and you told me you were gonna do that. And he said, well, I was told by the city, since it's on a city street, I don't have to clean it up.
Oh, geez.
That's the new apartment building on the corner.
Well, if there's a problem on the street, we'll refer to street services and,
If you could take that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next.
and I'll just say street services will either hold the person who's responsible accountable or they will handle the damage as they're able to and as is appropriate.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Benny.
Okay. I'm Denise Shaw. I'm with Councilmember Nazarian's office. I'm going to be really brief because it's a long night already. Sydney covered the assessment for me. Thank you. I want to thank the neighborhood council for hosting the last weekend. The council member was there. I was there. We had a great time, great seeing everybody, doing some fun cleanups in the neighborhood. So thank you for that. A couple of events coming up. There on May 2nd, and I think you're going to be discussing it a little later. There's going to be the Music in the Park event at Woodward Park from 11 to 3. There'll be a jazz bands from Walter Reed and North Hollywood High School. And there'll be a whole kids area this time. And there'll be a bunch of their wildlife and organizations. There's the owls are going to be back again. So it's going to be a fun event. Lots of city resources as well. The Tahunga Village is having their spring music festival a couple weeks later on May 23rd from 1 to 8. That should be a fun event. Percy is working on that and she could talk more, but there'll be bands. Auto
Wine
show,
garden, dog
wine-
auction, and 20 classic postcards, car show.
And then the last event, which you guys are hosting that we are looking forward to, is the Music in the Park on June 6th. Are there any questions?
Movies in park?
Did I say movies in the park? What did I say? Music in the
You
park?
said
It's
music in the
movies.
park.
Sorry, too much music and it's late.
Any questions, public comment?
The music in the park is summer sounds?
The summer sound,
Yes, same thing.
yes. Sorry,
No questions?
I'm on like the old title. I forgot it was
I just looked at the
rebranded.
flyer today and I was looking to see, I thought it was gonna be called Music in the Park as well, but it's summer
It
sounds.
is summer sounds. You're right. Thanks for correcting me. And no, I have the flyer right here. I
Just
should
wanted
have
to make sure
read
that
it.
Two events that we were doing.
Wait a second. No, it does. Oh, maybe this is the old flyer.
That's your side.
This is like,
Summer sound.
Yeah.
We were talking about potentially having some sort of extra garbage cans put on, in the area. As we heard, there's a way.
Hold on, before we get to, board comment, I want to make sure you have any stakeholder comment. Public comment. All right,
There's like, is there process to get additional garbage cans put into the city. We've identified spots.
Like in commercial areas,
Yeah.
on residential areas, so to have additional in the commercial areas, it needs to, someone needs to basically adopt it to agree.
Do it.
So
Yeah.
we've done it before, and they didn't get picked up in Tonga Village, but we are working on a beautification plan there. And I'm hoping that will be part of that, so that plan, and through that plan, getting the businesses a little more organized, so maybe we can in the future figure out a way to pick up those the trash in those cans. But so we did do it, and within, what was it, a week or two, do you remember? People who agreed to empty the cans were not, so we had to remove them.
Okay, that's it. Any board comment? Thank you. Next business.
So good evening, board members, Mr. President. I want to go over a couple of key things. Won't take too long. I know you have a busy schedule. Anna Quizar from the Department of Public Works wanted me to let the board know that you guys did a phenomenal job with the rain barrel promotion program. It was so good that they've actually put it on pause as of right now. They have, oh, you got to check it. So they have 300+ applicants, more than they can give out for the rain barrels. They put it on pause, but it will resume back in the fall. And when it does resume, we'll let you guys know. And then hopefully we can have just as much success with the one too. The other thing is the Zoom renewal license is $255 per year. There was an increase of $55, and that had to do with Zoom. Zoom increased their prices, I think, the first time in 3 years. The mayor's proposed budget for 26-27 was issued out on this Monday. If you haven't already had a chance to look at it and hear what took place, I'm just going to go over some key highlights. There was $25,000 proposed in that budget for the neighborhood councils with a 10,000 rollover, and that can be found in the Blue Book Volume 2. Also, there's $861,000 and change that was allocated for the elections for 2027. There was some folks who were wondering around, not sure if the elections would take place, if they were going to be funded, but they have been funded under the mayor's proposal for $861,988. There was no department personnel cuts to the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. We got basically reinstituted for 2 positions, and we're going to get cut from the last budget cycle. So that keeps pretty much our personnel intact and the service that we're able to provide the neighborhood councils. So a little bit about what comes next. What comes next is on April the 24th, the Budget and Finance Committee will hold some hearings based on public comment. That will be on Friday, the 24th, and Monday, the 27th. And that's going to take place exclusively at LA City Hall. I will send you this evening, actually, no later than tomorrow morning. I'll send you 2 emails. Everything that I covered today, I will send, and then I will send you a secondary email. If you do have any neighborhood purpose grant recipients or CIP recipients that have been benefiting from the department, from your particular council and your funding, you may want to have them, either they can go and do public comment, or they can also do written comment. So I'll send you a secondary email if you want to share with any of your recipients. That's part of your legacy. Every year, every neighborhood council gets a certain amount of funding, and if you're assisting them in their project objectives, that's part of what you do. And sometimes council members may not be aware if you're, allocating 500 or, smaller amounts to organizations in your community that are benefiting the actual folks in your district. So that's the budget and finance. Once again, the 24th and 27th, and I will also include the agenda that they have on tomorrow morning's email. Empower LA, we will be holding our specific hearing of the Budget and Finance Committee on May the 4th at 9 a.m. If you want to take a look, you can watch the whole hearings on YouTube and see what we have to say in terms of when we go present in the Budget and Finance Committee. On May 21st is the target date for the City Council to finalize the mayor's proposed budget. and send it back to the mayor. The mayor generally has till about June the 4th to sign it, and once it is signed, it then becomes the adopted budget, and then those are the final numbers. So those numbers that I gave you in the beginning with the 25K and the 10,000 rollover may or may not change depending on what the city council is able to put together. And then, of course, once the mayor signs it, that's the final budget. So the other thing that I just want to go over is social media accessibility. We did have an email that went out in terms of the ADA compliance. That was by the United States Department of Justice, and they have given us a really quick turnaround. The date has been extended by 1 full year. We are working to get neighborhood councils more information and assist them in this process. We know it can be tedious and we know it can be somewhat complex. We are having a training on April the 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be virtual. I will send you the email and you are more than welcome to register for the training. Highly recommend at least one person from the neighborhood council to attend that specific meeting and ask any questions that you may need answered. We are looking at that Google form response that a lot of board members have been submitting to us, and we will get back with specific answers. There's been a lot of questions.
Will it be recorded if you can't make it?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I don't have 100% of it, but I believe it should be. We also have the Youth Development Department Expo, which is going to take place on Saturday, May 30th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at LA Trade Tech College. If you know any youth, we're talking about folks between the ages of 15 and 27 years of age that are looking maybe to get their career started or job. There is going to be that expo taking place. It is open, it's free. Highly recommend any youth that you know in that age category that may be interested. Our department will be holding the 2026 Empower LA Youth Conference. For a while, that was kind of on the edge whether we were going to continue with it. We did get funding, so we will have that taking place on June the 6th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We do provide complimentary breakfast and lunch for youth. This youth group is generally between 14 and 17 years of age. This is the youth group that normally would occupy a youth seat if the neighborhood council has one available. Again, complimentary lunch and breakfast. This is where we let youth know about not only the neighborhood council system, all the great work that the neighborhood council do throughout the city, but also for them to get a better understanding of what the city council does, the role of the mayor. We generally have about 200 applicants. We only have space for about 100, and we try to make sure that the entire swath of Los Angeles is covered from the valley all the way out to the harbor. So there's a good representation. If you know anybody in that age group that may be interested, please forward them the information. Budget Day will take place on June 27th of this year from 7:30 in the morning to 12:30. It is open. If you don't have a registration yet, they will be coming out with one soon. Complimentary parking and complimentary breakfast will be included. The budget advocates will go before the Budget and Finance Committee. They're one of the first on Monday, this Monday coming up. Let's see, call again if you want to watch what they have to say. Please tune in. Again, you can access that from YouTube. I will send again an agenda tomorrow morning with the action plan for the Budget and Finance Committee as to when everybody will appear. But again, the budget advocates are another segment of the neighborhood council system. That is your voice when it comes to budget advocacy. For any of you that are budget reps and would like to be a budget advocate, the elections for the budget advocates take place on Budget Day on June 27th. So please keep that in mind, and please make use of the budget advocates. They're there to advocate for anything in terms of the fiscal annual budget that takes place every year. So the city clerk, again, as a reminder, they are now doing a newsletter, and they will start one going every month. They did one late last month. Basically, consent calendar, you can no longer put anything that is a funding matter on the consent calendar. So that's no longer allowed. So please keep that in mind. Also the applications for the neighborhood purpose grants have been changed somewhat. You want to make sure you're using the new one starting April the 1st. And also all of the neighborhood councils that are issuing out neighborhood purpose grants will need to have a project completion report that is now mandatory. No longer an optional, it's now required. Again, in the email, I will add that additional information. A couple of key dates to remember. May the 20th is the final day to submit event approval request using fiscal year funds for 25-26. And June first is the final day to submit check payment requests to the NC funding system portal for the neighborhood purposes grants. And then June 20th is the final day to make purchases using the NC bank card. So again, I will include those in the email, the 3 really important dates. Please keep those in mind. And the city clerk's office has done a lot of changes with how they're doing the training, as well as some of the procedures. They've updated it. And so keep a lookout for their monthly newsletter. And again, I will include most of this information on the email that I send out. So other than that, I am gonna say that I'm open for question.
Okay. Public comment?
That's a long list.
Any more comment, questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw the email about the new DOJ website requirements, and I was just like, and then you guys had a snap deadline, and I was just like, well, what does this mean? How are us volunteers going to be able to pull this off? So I'm glad you're gonna have some training and advice on this, because, I mean, you know, we don't want to run afoul of the rules, but we're not website people, so, you know, I think that we're gonna have a learning curve here, and I'm glad it's been delayed a year, but I think we're gonna need some substantial help in getting this up off the ground.
Yeah, and one of the things that we did when the mayor proposed in her proposed budget, we sent a counter letter. And that counter letter is basically, we are asking the city council to give us additional funding for ADA training that we will be able to assist neighborhood councils. So we requested that among some other key things from the budget. So we'll see if we can get the funding from the city council when they have the ball on their side of the court. But again, the training, you know, definitely I recommend at least one person from each neighborhood council to attend that training coming up virtually. And again, it's a lot of the things that were put by the Department of Justice is that, you know, we didn't know ourselves. And Commissioner Waters sent out an email for, you guys are Len Schaefer's, but I'm not sure if she did the Southern Valley. But there was a lot of key essential areas in that email. I will forward to you in terms of some fumbling of the ball when it came to notification for our department and the neighborhood councils.
I know.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
Any other government representatives? Right, move to agenda item number 7. Studio City Neighborhood Council currently has 4 vacant board seats. We have the following candidate criteria for the board seats based on what's in our bylaws. The 4 openings are business representative, the employee independent contractor, service organization representative, and a residential renter component. Candidates who wish to apply should send an email to myself, President Board Jeff.
I think you have to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've lost quorum. You have to wait.
Only 12 people on the board.
15 seats. Quorum is based on 15. You'd ask, Vincent, yeah, well, we should have it in the bylaws. It's just, it's specifically what the, I don't have the bylaws in front of me. 8, is there 8 in the bylaws?
Yeah, 8. Okay, we have that.
It's 8.
We have 8.
Not in the room.
We did 1, 2. Have 8 in the room.
Yeah, you have 8.
So we have 8.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
We do.
Okay.
Who's counting?
That's a parliamentary procedure, so, you know, that's one of those.
Okay, we'll wait till, Dimitri.
Right there. Isn't that one of them?
Yes.
Gotta get your pizza early. So we have the 4 board seats, and I mentioned the business representative, the employee independent contractor, service organization, and the residential renter. By May 13th, any candidates who would like to apply for those positions should send them in by May 13th. And then in the May board meeting, that's when we're gonna review the candidates, answer some questions, and then the board will vote those members in and see who we elect for the opening positions. Barry.
I just have to say that, you know, I attend city council meetings and there are times when 10 out of 15 of them are in the back room having snacks, and they're still taking votes electronically. So, I mean, if they can do that, Dimitri can go get some food in this room. I mean, it's just absurd that we're even discussing it when the city council itself does this.
And keep in mind, those, board members who wish to be candidates, the candidates want to be board members, they have to be in person at the Wednesday, at the, next board meeting in May. Right?
One question,
Yes.
you've got 12 names, and there's 15, that leaves 3. So names up there is no.
Which name is up there, son?
David. I brought those in here tonight and I didn't even know he had left, so that's why it's there.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're still for.
Any other public comment on the open seats?
Thank you.
Any board comment?
I just want to say, you know, we have the shortage of people volunteering. We're volunteering our time. People are complaining that we're not volunteering on subcommittees. I suggest we don't create more subcommittees unless we have enough people to satisfy the committees we do have. It's just creating a lot of excess bureaucracy. And I also propose we need a better camaraderie among this board. It's a waste of everyone's time when people bicker and like accuse people of stuff and send their emails. We're all volunteering here. We all want to do good work, but just be productive and don't cause parliamentary like complaints. It's very irritating.
Any other board member comment?
Here.
Right, let's move on to item number 7. Studio City Neighborhood Council will exercise provisions for the Neighborhood Council Youth Committee as per our operating procedures. We actually have written procedures for having a youth committee. That committee is the group of youth individuals from the age of 15 to 17 who would function like a regular committee. They would actually put forth motions to the board. They can also hold forums or events as a committee, and they will actually select which new member takes the board seat as a youth committee individual. We have some members who expressed a desire to be on the board. So the plan is to take those youth individuals and be the seed components of the youth committee. Started from there. The details are listed in, like I said, the operating procedures, and the plan is to move forward with that opportunity going forward. And I'm looking forward to what that committee can send us from a motion standpoint, based on what they see us happening across Studio City.
That's great.
Any public comment? Board comment?
So are there kids on it today, or is it?
It's a brand new committee.
Okay, so there aren't any kids picked.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's move on to the Studio City Neighborhood Council openings for 2 executive board seats. We have a secretary and treasurer board openings. And this is an opportunity for anyone who wants to volunteer to nominate an individual or nominate themselves from those positions, as begun.
No.
Anyone wants to nominate or take the secretary position? No show of hands or anything? All right. Anyone who wants to nominate or nominate themselves for the treasury position? Okay. Hopefully, out of the new 4 board members, we get 2 people who will step up and fill the executive board positions. Yes.
Yeah, when I first joined the board several years ago, they were asking, who wants to do this, who wants to do that, and I think everyone at that initial meeting was like, yeah, I'll do this, and I didn't know what corresponding secretary was, but I raised my hand and I went ahead and, did that. So I encourage everyone who's not an officer yet to step up to the plate and do the job. I mean, we need people to do that, and please help us out, because right now we have a president, a vice president, we have corresponding secretary, which is a demanding job, and we have 2 other ones. So let's step up to the plate and get this job done. So I urge people to do that. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Like I said, hopefully you get 4 new board members who will step up and actually take on those roles for us.
Yes.
Can I speak with someone after about what the secretary role involves?
primary role of the secretary is they handle the minutes, the agenda. I believe they actually, I think that's the
Keep track of the votes.
track of votes, those are main items for secretary.
That's basically it, so.
Is there a job, is there a written job
Yes.
description?
Yeah, you have to be on the board though,
Oh,
to do that. so.
In the operating procedures.
Right.
You can run for a board seat,
Yeah.
coming up, so.
when is that?
May 13th, the deadline to apply. You can go on our website, you can see the criteria for it,
Got it.
and you can look at our actual agenda and then have the details there.
Right, okay.
All right. Okay, item 9, President's Report. One is approval of the board minutes. The link is there, and the board minutes were sent out earlier this month. So go ahead and vote for approving the minutes.
Second.
Second. All right. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry? Yes, Richard?
Yep.
Lori?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
All right. Next one, was actually covered by, Vincent with the state and local government accessibility compliance standards, so did a good job of covering that one. The next item is discussion and action to appoint secretary and financial officers, treasurer, signer, and bank card holder for the neighborhood council. Typically, we have 2 bank card holders. I am one. We need a second bank card holder who actually, handle purchases for the board. So we're gonna have a motion down below to actually see if anyone wants to be a part of that.
Yes,
Good.
you just said yes.
We'll get into that when the motion comes up. I'll just bring that up as part of the president's report. Okay. All right, let's get into the vice president's report.
Nothing for tonight.
Okay. Dimitri?
Ditto, nothing for today.
All right, for the treasurer's report, for our president, our treasurer is vacant, so I'll go ahead and read the 2 motions that were put forth before you left. Board of Studio City Neighborhood Council approves a monthly expenditure report for March 2026. The details are listed there for you to review.
Second.
Second, all right, vote on approving the report. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah, Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Gary, yes, Richard,
Yep,
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Second motion is the Board of Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the officers, signers named within the administrative packet. Note that officers and signers will be named confirmed at the April meeting, which is this board meeting. I'm one of the card holders and signers. And so the next piece is to see if anyone wants to be nominated for a card holder or a signer. And keep in mind, if you're a card holder, you have to be able to respond at short notice to handle some of the purchases that occur, so that we can support what happens around the outreach committee and the other committees that make purchases.
I nominate Richard.
I've done it before, so it's no big deal.
Richard's nominated. Anyone else? Card holder. All right, second signer nominations. Okay, so let's, Richard as the card holder. Let's take a vote. Marcy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
All right, so we'll put Richard down as a card holder. And I'm at your second signer. Any recommendations for second signer?
Do that too if you want.
I mean, third signer, actually. Any nominations?
I'll do it again if you want me to.
All right,
Fourth.
he's the only one, okay?
I'll second Richard.
The second Richard. All right, let's vote. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry. Yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt. Yes. All right, so we'll put Richard down as the cargo land signer. Next is the budget and finance committee. We have four motions that is, we'll go through. First motion, motion BFCA, Board of City Neighborhood Council. City Neighborhood Council approves the expenditure up to $300 for the purchase of branded T-shirts and board and committee members, for board and committee members. Andrew Epstein, the outreach motion, vendor quotes and product examples are listed in the link. And you want to say anything about those? Or?
No, I mean, they're designed for, committee members, board members and committee members for, upcoming events through the year.
Okay.
And the samples in the link.
Public comment? Board comment? Move to a vote. Someone second it?
Second.
All right, Percy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard.
Yep.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Pass. Next one,
Can I just get, how many t-shirts,
excuse me,
how many t-shirts are being ordered?
25.
motion BFCB, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the purchase of an owl/meeting camera necessary for hybrid board meetings at a cost of up to $1,300 for a large retailer, from a large retailer such as Amazon, Best Buy, or Walmart, depending on the best price, including open stock or like new with service plan as cost-saving measures. This gets into the comment before about us trying to improve our audiovisual type scenario here in this meeting. The owl is a classic standard one for most board members, board rooms and conference rooms for businesses. It's a standard. And that passed the budget committee and it's here for a vote. Any public comment on it? Barry.
The couple over here that was talking about being able to be heard. In that closet are microphones and speakers that board
And
members
amplifier.
used to come and set up, but it's very time consuming. And I think we got out of the practice. And usually the fact that we have this many people in the room tonight makes a difference. When there's less people, even a little more than this, you can do without, but with as many as we have tonight, you probably do need those, but they are in there.
Right, if we expect a
how old
large
are
crowd
those?
like that, we should.
They work.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying now you can, really simple, get a sound link or something in a mic. And it's Bluetooth, wireless, not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like two
And
speakers.
It'll cover this room.
Yeah,
I think that would be good. If we know we can have a large crowd like we did before, we have enough board members to help set it up, we can do that.
But that's distinct from the owl thing we're talking about.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's an addition, that's an addition. Okay. Any other comments on the owl?
Yeah, that's why I think it's
Scott?
So I spoke about this at the budget committee, and I think the owl will work great in the conference room. It'll work sort of okay in here. There's add-ons for the owl that will make a room this large actually be much more functional, but I think this is a great start to get this first piece of gear. They're not that difficult. It requires a little bit of training, but and those who don't know how to use the owl really can screw up meetings. Like I've seen it, some of the plan review boards would have trouble, and it actually starts spinning around and going out of control. And as far as the gear in there, not to be crass, but it's crap. A lot of the XLR cables don't work anymore. A few of the microphones have failed, and that mixing board is from some vintage that we don't. I mean, I would come an hour and a half early and set it up, and then we'd have feedback. And what Andy just said, I think it's something to consider maybe for next year's fiscal.
Does the owl have a audio component?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And it has additional add-ons as well.
Yes.
Is video, it's all for this price?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what it does is I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sort of uses, I don't know, sensors inside, I don't know it that well, but I've used, whoever's speaking, it's gonna try to move the camera onto that.
Yes.
But because it's cylindrical, it has a variety of perspectives, but I think to speak to Scott's point, it would get, say, this front part of the room, but the add-ons, what we would likely set up something more toward the rear of the room to
Correct.
capture those areas.
But it's not, it's for picking up sound, it's not for amplifying it out to the audience.
That is correct. They're separate. That's why I was saying these are separate matters, but it does make us a little bit more, I think, responsive on the Zoom.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I use it a lot.
Yeah.
And the camera really gives the people online a better visual of what's happening in the thing.
It's a good start.
It is.
I think so.
Okay. So I move we vote on that.
Second.
Okay. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
I abstain.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
motion passes. All right. The third one is the Zoom license. The board of Supervisors of the council approves the purchase of a second Zoom license. $225.
Question?
Public comment. Barry.
Why do we need a second one?
I think the discussion has something to do with, the Zoom link that we're using was linked to some, like a specific committee member's name.
It is.
And so that whenever they had to set up a meeting, they needed this particular person to set up the meeting.
Well, why can't a new board member just use their link, a current board member? I think you're mentioning Chips, they're using Chips as Zoom link, is that what it is? That's the problem.
So my understanding is whenever there was a Zoom meeting, Chip would have to set it up.
Right.
Yes.
Whether or not he was involved. And so I think this is supposed to be one that we can all use without having Chip set up the meeting for us.
Yeah, the line set is one would be the primary one for the board meeting, and the other one would float across committees, because right now, like you said, Chip would have to set up.
No, but
all of the meetings.
why not adopt a current board member's Zoom link?
At no cost, are you saying? Or
whatever the license,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
costs. I mean, I don't know what chips cost, I don't know, $225 a year, is that what it is?
It's the
I
same.
don't know. What's that?
It's not Chip personal one, it's one that's for the board. This will give us 2 Zoom licenses. We have one right now. It's called Chips, but it's belongs.
So
to the
why
board.
Again, why a second?
For the
That's what I'm-
board.
Why a second?
Or change it to board at
Yeah, change the name, that's it.
org and then
Right.
just use that one.
Why do we need a second license?
I don't think we do.
All right, so anyone wants to volunteer to make sure that works across the committees? Having one? I'm just asking.
No, I know, I hear you. Someone's gotta step up and do something that's great.
Because here's the reality right now, the way it's set up now, Chip has to be the one launching.
Well, why did, yeah,
Music, right?
No, it has to be a current board member now take it over.
He was president, that's. why.
Yes,
I know it's not anymore.
we're asking for someone on this board to take it over.
No takers.
Yeah.
Can't it belong to the board and not a personal name?
It has to be registered to an individual. You can't have it for board.
The problem is two-factor authorization. That's the gist of it. It's always been one of the downfalls of Zoom because you need a phone number
And an email.
and
Got it.
there is supposedly a way now with, when you set up the Zoom license, where you can have, choices of which second factor gets contacted based on the person email address who's logging in. I have not had Zoom privileges for years, but I had set up templates, different Zoom meetings, templates for committees and different templates for board meetings. And all board members were notified automatically when there was a meeting and would get a link. And we did need to, because every now and then there'd be an ad hoc or a committee meeting that would overlap, or some type of urgent committee event that wasn't monthly scheduled that would be on the same night as another. So there was a need for two licenses at one period of time. But the issue is the two-factor authorization. So someone would need to dig in and do it, or split it between a committee meeting with a person designated as a second factor and the board meeting with a person designated. And I can see by the hands that are raising up to be second card holder, third signers, that nobody wants to do anything. So just, I mean, it sounds very frustrating that I mean, I know the people who step up and do the work and the others just sit. And
Vincent, how does Gunn do Zoom? Is it through an individual? Or is it through a city
We have a
license?
completely different thing, because we have it through our department, but we've actually cut that expense. So in the budget cuts, we lost the Zoom, so we now do Google Meets.
And is there an expense to that, or is that?
So Google Meets is free, it's not as good as the Zoom.
Hmm.
You can also, I believe, get a free Zoom, and I think it's under 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's.
So
we all have that.
that's another option as
Why
well.
don't we just approve this motion, move on?
Well, I don't know if we want to approve that, but let's vote on it.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to approve it.
Right,
Vote
Chair,
here.
that's Chair, but have anyone to step up and be the second.
Move that we table it for,
All right,
Second,
all right, table that one.
Good.
You want to table it?
Well, just one clarity. When you table basically, it's dropping the item to the end of the agenda, and either it dies or it doesn't. So what you want to do is, make a motion to, postpone.
All right, motion to postpone.
Second.
Ms. Gold, Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yep.
Lori,
yes.
Matt,
No.
Matt, no. Okay. The next one is motion D. For this one, I'm gonna recuse myself. I'll step out and let you guys handle this. The conversation and vote.
So it's another point of order. So you have 8 board members.
Right, we don't have a quorum.
So you say.
You
can't address this item.
And you wouldn't be able to address it.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Wait a minute. No, we do, if you stay here, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So who's Jerry himself?
We're using two.
Alternate.
And then is it Jeremy and Ed?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so then you drop below 8.
Yeah, we're at
We
seven.
can't address it.
We'll be 7, so we can't.
We couldn't address it because you need to have present and voting.
Okay.
Maybe she need to recuse herself.
Right?
Oh, no,
You need
No,
to.
we're
we're not voting.
I did you.
Might have to Postpone that.
Right, we'll have to postpone until we have a proper form.
Okay.
The event will have a, or the,
Well, I guess.
This is just about whether we want to provide funding for the event.
Right.
Right. Right.
Yeah, in the city clerk, I've seen, if they see that you have 2 recusals and you have less than the quorum present and voting, you're not gonna get that funding. Okay,
Okay,
it's not in
thank
conjunction.
you.
She need to recuse herself though,
That's okay, yeah, that's the correct thing to do.
but does she need to?
That, what they're both doing is correct. Like, we're dropping the little quorum number, and that's why the board can't view it, no matter. Okay?
Is the applicant even present?
No,
The applicant is Save Los Angeles River Open Space.
out here.
And the contact is Beth Diamond.
So that I can hear anything.
It's still correct for at the next board meeting, even if this event has happened, if they wanted to contribute to the final bill for this event, could they not?
As long, I mean, I don't know, when is this event taking place?
It's May 2nd.
On May 2nd, so that's
That's
your
right.
next, unless you have a special meeting. So if you had a special meeting and you had sufficient amount of.
I doubt if they
Let's
will.
go through the procedure of actually
Postpone.
postponing this.
Second.
All right. I don't have to vote for that, do we?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew, Dimitri.
Yes. Yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
yes.
Matt.
That's
You can't discuss it, you can't vote on it, so those 2 votes don't count,
Still passes.
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Well, right, by default, it falls off.
No,
if there's no vote for it,
Right.
it just doesn't get addressed. It doesn't exist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
So no, there's no vote. You can't vote on something. You're recused.
Well, hold on, but they earlier were recusing themselves from motion BFCD. But is this a separate motion if we're making a motion?
So it's the same topic.
Same, but is it the same motion technically? I don't think it is. I don't think they do need to recuse themselves from a motion.
Yes, they do.
They can't discuss the topic, because the topic is music in the park.
It's like a rule, because you can't even vote on it because you don't have a quorum.
What ends up happening is that, again, when you postpone, it's gonna automatically be the next month's agenda. But if you don't postpone, you could just place it back on the agenda,
Or it falls off if we want.
or it falls off if you don't vote. Yes.
So we can just leave it then. Don't vote.
And that's how the vote president.
If the president that places it, then it would be that, if he sets the agenda. So if the president sets the agenda again, you can place it back on the agenda for the next month.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to, yeah.
They have discretion.
Yeah.
Right.
Is he recused from doing that since he has to recuse anyway?
No, because again, he's not voting on the matter, you know, he's not voting on the matter, and then when you recuse yourself, it's recommended that you reach out to the city attorney. Because there's specific questions that he'll ask you, you know, there's a specific reason for recusing yourself. But I leave that to the city attorney in consultation.
Right. Let's move on to the outreach committee. Andrew?
Like, I don't know where I'm at anymore.
Motion RCA.
15.
Okay. I guess I can read it if I have glasses. This is a motion, City Neighborhood Council moves to approve the reimbursement of $50 for professional and graphic services required for technical file prep of the flyer for the blood drive. Essentially what this was I did a flyer for the blood drive, which is in a month, less than a month, and I did not have approval yet for Canva, which is it's an app that allows you to create flyers, and so I did a workaround and had to hire a graphic designer for the exorbitant amount of $50, and so I paid the designer and got flyers printed so that we could promote the event. So that's the motion essentially.
Public comment? Board comment? Well, Richard?
I just have a question, basically. Obviously, we're not supposed to be paying money that's not been previously line item, and this one was not. The $50 wasn't. I want to know, can we go around that, or is that just the way life is?
That's what the motion's for, is to approve the.
But this is after the fact.
Right. This is approve the reimbursement.
It falls under a pre-approved a line item for expenditures for things like this. It's just part of the process that we didn't count on.
You could do, one thing is I learned about the city clerk, if something is not kosher and doesn't meet, you know, what you're supposed to be doing, they're not gonna put it right. What they always tell me is if the board has, you know, apprehensions, you can pass it, and then we can discuss it afterwards, but if it doesn't pass muster, believe me, I can take it back and say.
Just want to make sure that we're playing by the rules.
Yeah. All right, move that we vote. Jeff seconds? Second. All right, Percy?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Gary, yes. Richard?
Yep.
Lori?
Yes.
Matt? Yes. All right. Government affairs. Barry?
Okay, the first motion we have,
Oh, I have more outreach, I'm sorry, Jerry.
oh, sorry.
You have another one?
Can I have the floor?
Oh, great.
Sorry. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. So we had our 5th community cleanup. Again, it was a success. more than 30 showed up. A lot of kids are coming and getting their service hours, community service credit for it. Adrien came with his family and joined it, and we were there from, even though it's 9 to 11, the cleanup, we were there from essentially 8 to about noon. And there's a lot of good interaction that happens before, during, and after. The next one is not going to be in Studio City. It's going to be the length of Van Owen. And we have a section of Van Owen. It's all these neighborhood councils and volunteers are going to clean up Van Owen from Topanga to, I believe, Vineland. And we have a stretch of it. There's flyers. We'll help them promote it. But we have to get people from our neighborhood out there. So that happens next month. Also next month is a blood drive on the lot here. That's what the flyer was for. It'll be it's a weekday. It's a Thursday from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. It'll be in the Seder parking building. When you drive in, it'll be right there. There's a big what do you call it? A holding room. It's like half the size of this, and we'll be there from I think 9 to 3.
What's the date again, please?
The blood drive is the 21st.
Yeah.
The Sunday before, we're gonna staff farmers market. Mercy and a woman named Victoria Brown, who's new to the committee. And I will be at farmers market, and we'll be promoting the blood drive. We'll also be promoting neighborhood council and all the issues, even, we can talk about Riverwalk and land use and all the issues that we've been talking about today. So if you want to join us on that Sunday, the 17th, we'll be there all day. Yeah.
We'll need volunteers to set up and take that.
Right.
The blood drive, by the way, I think it's a correction, is 10 to 4, not 9 to 3.
It's now 9 to 3.
Okay, well, the flyer was saying 10 to 4.
That's what's up, the flyer?
Well, the one that was,
Yeah,
the link was provided.
Yeah.
It is 9
Red
to
Cross,
3.
Red Cross changed the time.
Okay, that means I might be able to make it actually, if it's 9 to 3.
Where does it say? Yeah, there it is. Actually, you just pass these down.
Anything else, Andrew?
I'm sorry. We're still working on the home composting and urban gardening workshop. We're gonna have a day at North Hollywood High School in the summer. So we're working with LA Sanitation and North Hollywood High School to make that happen. So that's just logistics with LA Unified. So yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks, Andrew. All right, Barry, you're up.
Government Affairs A, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0173 to request the city attorney, with the assistance of the Department of City Planning and the Department of Building and Safety, to prepare and present an ordinance to amend that TO is a typo, to amend the Los Angeles Municipal Code to mandate accountability, close regulatory loopholes, and safeguard the public right-of-way with penalties sufficient to deter illegal off-site signage and ambush in quotes, marketing activity. The amendment should include the following elements: 1 through 10. You want me to read 1 through 10?
No.
They don't at city council meetings. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committee and full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0173.
Public comment. Board comment. Take a vote. Second it.
Second.
All right, Mercy?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Dimitri?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Jerry? Yes. Richard?
Yeah.
Lori?
Yes.
Matt?
No.
Yes, you missed Jerry, but yes.
Oops,
Sorry.
sorry. All right, next one.
Okay, B, motion B, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0162 to instruct the Department of Public Works, including its bureaus and Board of Public Works, to report on their issues with My LA 311, including how these technical issues impact service delivery timelines and work order completion rates since the rollout of the new My LA 311 website and app on March 28th, 2025. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committee and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0162.
Thank you. Public comment. Board comment.
I don't think it's making sense, waste of time.
Move to a vote.
Second.
All right. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri.
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Gary, Richard,
Yep.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
No.
Motion C, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0329 for the Los Angeles Department of Transportation to install permanent ceremonial signage to commemorate the intersection at Ventura Boulevard and Berry Drive as Oil Can Harry Square. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0329. And I just wanted to say that this was brought by our council member Nithya Raman.
Public comment. Yes.
I don't see why it would be Oil Can Harry's. That, for the future generations, they're not gonna know what that was.
That's the idea.
They will think about stupid sign.
Donna
Yes,
says no.
public comment.
Oil can't carry inside it.
Yes.
I think Oil Can Harry, isn't that a historically designated site already?
Yes, but that name can be misleading. They are allowed to make still changes despite that designation. Just so you know.
I mean,
And this is making the intersection the square, which is something they did at rural in Ventura for somebody else.
yeah, Solzhenitsyn.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Ventura.
So it's
She knows who it is.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn Square, don't you know?
Yeah.
Where is Solzhenitsyn Square?
Laurel and
Laurel and Ventura.
So,
What?
So
why is it named after him?
Because he was, wasn't he,
Well, anti-communist.
He's a Nobel Prize.
anti-communist?
Yeah, but why, I know that, but why Laurel and Ventura? Did you go to the newsstand and maybe purchase?
But those squares are not uncommon across the city.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just curious.
That doesn't mean we have to
Why they
support
were
it.
Board comment.
Well, I have a question about the signage. Do we know what's meant by, I don't remember the exact language, but yeah, here it is. Do we know what's meant by, quote, install permanent ceremonial signage? Do we know what it's gonna look like?
It's like the one at Laurel and
I see.
Ventura.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
things
Kind of brown,
LA thing,
brownish.
Yeah, I know, yeah, okay.
Tan and brown with brown letters.
Within that aesthetic.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to see.
Yeah.
Any other board comment?
I mean, whether we support this or not, doesn't matter, are they gonna still do it?
Probably, but this
So
might
what does
be
it matter?
a rare occasion where we could support the CD4 council person from this neighborhood council.
That's not a reason to do it.
A motion, we move to a vote.
Yes, second,
All right, Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
No.
Andrew,
no,
Dimitri,
No.
Jeff,
No.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
What's the count?
Matt.
What's the count?
What's your conscience?
The count.
It's irrelevant.
that comes
No.
after the vote.
No.
I
Lost,
mean, they could have told me what the count was.
lost.
Used to try to keep
Both
them.
did not vote or not? They said no.
I said no.
Okay.
The motion didn't pass.
It didn't pass?
No. Next one.
What was the count?
5-4.
5.
5 against, right?
Yeah.
Right. Next one.
Transportation, motion A. The Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0141 for the Chief Administrative Officer in coordination with the Department of City Planning and the City Attorney's Office to identify and report back on potential funding sources that could be utilized to fund the preparation of the requested traffic and emergency access analysis for the proposed parkingless apartments at 11143 to 11157.5 Acema Street, including legal, permissible cost recovery mechanisms, and to advise council on the feasibility of deploying such funds for this purpose. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committees and full city council from votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0141. And I just should mention, this comes from our council member Nazarian, who is trying to help out the people that are in single family homes behind this proposed parkingless apartment and the neighborhood in general.
Public comment? Scott?
So this one sort of pairs with my rant from earlier after the Riverwalk presentation about people being against a lot of the policies that they actually voted for with these no parking and build. And I understand the frustration, but most of the people I see on social media and most that were here complaining about the zero parking voted for zero parking. City Council is studying zero parking throughout the entire city, not just in designated areas. That was a council file. I don't think there's been any action yet. They're still waiting for the report back. I'm not saying they deserve to suffer, but this is what happens when you vote, say, vote blue no matter who, and you don't have any idea what the policies are, and then it all gets signed, and then you stand on Ventura Boulevard in Laurel Canyon with a retarded sign, and you have no idea what's going on in your own neighborhood. Anyway, that's my continued rant.
Thanks, Scott. Any other public comment? Board comment?
I think we should definitely support this.
Any other board comment? Will we take a vote? Percy?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Andrew?
Abstain.
Dimitri?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Jerry, yes. Richard?
Yeah.
Lori?
Yes.
Matt?
No.
Lori?
So passed?
Yes, it passed.
Okay. Did pass?
It passed.
Okay. Motion B, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports adding the following blocks to existing preferential parking district 57 in the Silver Triangle neighborhood of Studio City. And that would be Mound View between Laurel Terrace and Viewcrest, Mound View south of Laurel Terrace, and Laurel Terrace from Laurel Canyon to Vantage. And this is one little corner of the Silver Triangle that was left out of the original preferential parking district when it was formed years ago.
Public comment?
This is south of Ventura and
And
Starbucks.
west of Laurel.
West of, yeah. but-
West of Carpenter Elementary, so across
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street from, you know, where Carpenter Elementary is on Laurel. So west of there, the neighborhood just kind of west of, do I have that right?
Carpenter's on Culver.
I was deferred. Was that?
No,
No,
the
it's the other side of Carpenter, that's right.
Of the school.
Backside, yeah. It's the backside of the.
Something.
Backside of Carpenter School.
Correct.
Back
Yeah.
west of Laurel.
Yes. south of Bridges.
He mentioned, I mean, what, Mountain View, between Laurel Terrace and Viewcrest, Mountain View south of Laurel Terrace, Laurel Terrace.
And Mountain View's the longest part in its, of the three, and it's the next street running west of Laurel Canyon, running
What
parallel.
does
to
PPD
Laurel.
allow?
Did you hear what he said? Yeah.
What does
Any
PPD allow?
public comment? All right, board comment?
What does the PPD do?
Prefer parking.
What does that mean?
For that street, they would have, I think it's 2-hour parking in the rest of that, district.
So
So
it
they,
adds, it limits.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, unless you have a permit, you're a resident, you can buy a permit to park longer than 2 hours.
Cool.
Vote. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
All right, motion C, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0380 to instruct the Los Angeles Department of Transportation with the assistance of the CAO to report back with a long-term staffing and implementation plan, including costs and timeline, to increase the total number of active parking enforcement traffic control staff from just over 500 officers to 700 officers by June of 2028. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committees and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0380.
Public comment. Board comment.
Was this part of Bass's budget yesterday?
No, this was separately moved by a couple council members.
Any other board comment? Yeah.
I think it makes sense because the Olympics are coming down the pike here and there's gonna be lots of parking problems, so we might as well get these people front loaded into the system to provide the tickets.
Well, as it was pointed out to me also, that Ventura Place, as was mentioned tonight, is a huge problem. And even when it gets diagonal parking, it's still going to be a huge problem. And we asked Sydney and others, can we get some more parking enforcement? And it's like, well, maybe for a week, but they did never have enough people, so.
Other board.
But isn't it taking away from hiring police officers?
Well, and regular LAPD officers are not gonna do traffic control.
I know that, but like, it's a limited budget.
Yeah,
It's like 200 extra people. I'd rather 50 cops than 200 meter maids.
Other board comment? Take a vote. All right, Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
No.
Andrew,
No.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry, yes, Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
No.
passes. Local affairs, Abby's not
I
here.
do have a question now. Might they just try to raise the parking meter rates to make up for it? That's a rhetorical question.
They just did.
can I just mention for cultural affairs, we hope everybody comes on Saturday, June 6th, North Weddington Park, Back to the Future, and starting at about 8 when it gets dark, but between 6:30 and 8, Abby's got a lot of booths lined up, the Studio City Library, all of the different city entities that are usually at, say, National Night Out or at other events that we've had. So it should be
good night, and there will be refreshments.
Yeah, Wesley School is going to.
Right. Land use committee, Barry,
Oh,
Lori.
yeah, please, anybody that can come next Thursday. And you can see why, with the length of the meeting tonight, why we would not, this is not the place to have a 45-minute presentation by a land use entity. It's really, that's what our committees are for, and I'm